Hello again. I'm going to do another video for you today. This one's on tables. I've done a couple of videos recently you may have seen, and one of those was on progress matrices, and it's been great to have heard from some schools recently that have used matrices during inspection and they've been really well received, and that's encouraging because it does mean that we can drop those points and steps and flight paths that we've been using, essentially levels that we've used to measure progress in the past. Ditch them and use something that's far more simple and far more meaningful. The other video was focusing on those 3 key reports that we can use to summarize data for governors, for LA advisors, for Ofsted inspectors. And the ones I showed you the attainment overviews like this. So we've got a bar chart here that shows the proportion of children that are well below and just below and above and what have you in each subject. So really visual, really simple tool for summarizing attainment at a point in time. Obviously there were the progress matrices, and the other one I showed you was this key group summary. So just at a particular point in time, we can show data for a subject broken down by key groups using whatever type of assessment that we want. So this one's based on a test score on a standardized test. So I've got average standardized scores for groups. I've got progress, really that's change in standardized scores since the last assessment point. And based on a threshold, I've decided the percentage of children that are at or above expectation. So that's really useful, but the problem with this is, I mean, it's a fixed entity. I can't actually change this beyond actually selecting the assessment I want it based on. I can't put any extra columns in. And that's the issue, because a lot of schools really want to add to this. They want a key group summary table. They want a table that's grouped by cohort and by key group, but they probably want to add in some extra columns. And that's an issue, and it does end up meaning that a lot of schools that are using spreadsheets or even using commercial systems have to resort to running lots of different reports, transferring data from those reports into a template that they've devised in, say, Word or Excel. It might be they've got some data in a tracking system and they have to transfer data out of that. They've got some data in a spreadsheet and they have to filter the spreadsheet. And sometimes it literally means just writing down numbers, even getting a calculator out and working out those key figures and putting them into your table in your report. So what would be better is if I could create a table within my system that enables me to get all of my data in one place, to put columns in place that summarize all the data and give me all the data that I need. And Insight has given us this with this table building tool that we have in here. So I'm going to click on that now and show you how that works. So when I open it up, it doesn't really look like much. I've got my year 6 pupils there. I can change that, and there's my year 5 pupils, but at the moment it doesn't really show me anything. But that's the point. The point is that I can edit this table and I can put in exactly what I want. So if I click on Edit Table and then I click on Add Column, now I could put in pupil characteristics like gender, pupil premium, what have you, but I'm going to focus on the assessment data in here. So I'm going to click on Assessment Column. And I'm going to put in some data. Let's start at the beginning. We'll put in reception and we'll put in summer term and we'll put in, let's just choose a subject, reading, and we'll put in foundation stage profile and add that in. And now I've got a column for those children that shows their early learning goal, development, foundation stage. So we'll add another one in. And let's change that to year 2, keep it as summer 2, keep it reading, and put SAT in. So this is going to be my key stage 1 result. Now I could change the subject obviously, but I just want to put in a few columns here. So there's their key stage 1 result. Now that's for year 6 who do have sub-levels. Now if I change this to year 5, it's got the new type of key stage 1 data. So the point is I can apply this, as I start to build this table up, I can apply it to other year groups. So we'll leave it for year 5, let's add in another one, and then let's add in, let's go forward in time, last academic year, and yep, summer term, let's change that to maths, and we'll put in a test score. So I'm going to choose their standardized test score, so I should get a column now, and there it is. That's their average standardized test score, so each pupil's standardized test score. Add in another one, and let's go for autumn term for the current academic year. Add that one in, and there it is. Now I might want to show some change over time, so this is a good example here. So if we add in another one, I go back and let's choose a progress column. So let's choose maths and last academic year and autumn and their Rising Stars test. Now it could be NFER data that I'm storing here or whatever other type of data, GL. And we'll go for current academic year, and this time I'm just going to choose term parameter. Now term parameter means that if I choose this, it's going to put in the latest data that I've got available. So rather than being fixed to a particular term, it's going to give me the latest data that's available. So I'll choose that, and I will choose Rising Stars again. Now expected progress, this is a bit of a funny one. I'm going to put in 0 here. Now this isn't strictly accurate, true, but basically I'm saying if the data doesn't change, doesn't go up, because this is a common misconception, if the data doesn't change, that's no disaster. You know, if they're staying the same score, if they're maintaining the same score, that's kind of fine. So I'll put in that column as well. Now the data is kind of all over the place because it's randomly generated, but you can see change there, and I could use a column like that to show changing percentages or whatever really. So let's add in a couple more, just some simple stuff. So let's do a couple more assessment columns, and yep, current academic year, autumn term, that's fine, maths, fine. So we could do main assessment. Now obviously you probably want to put in a reading one and a writing one, so that's their current teacher assessment. And the last one I'm going to do is percentage secured to date. Let's put that in. And if you're assessing against objectives in the system, this will show you the percentage of objectives they've secured, not as a percentage of the total number of objectives for the year, but as a percentage of those that have been assessed so far. So if you only assess 4 objectives and they're securing all of them, at this point in the year, they'd be 100% secure. So we can see children who've got gaps and those children who haven't. So that's fine. I've got that those columns in there now. And the only thing I want to do now is I just want to add in a couple of what's called an ARE column, an age-related expectation column. This is quite clever. So I want to find those children that are at this point in time. I'm going to put term parameter in, so it always uses the latest data in reading and in writing and in maths that are at age-related expectations, so in all 3 subjects. So I'm going to base it on my teacher assessment, my overall teacher assessment, and I will click that and add that one in. And just so it's giving me just a binary yes or no, are they age-related in those 3 subjects combined? And just to show you can have other options, if I get rid of writing, I have no test in writing, but I'm going to change that to my Rising Stars test, my standardized test, and I should now get a column that shows the percentage of children that are age-related in the 2 subjects combined based on a test. So I've got that comparison. It says whether they're age-related based on teacher assessment or based on test. Right, fine. So finish that, save it obviously. Always a good idea to save these things, so save that. Okay. So now I've got my table, but this is pupil level. Now, it's highly likely I'm going to want to use this to summarize data for, say, governors or external visitors. So just click on edit again. I've got this little tick box here. If I tick this, it will get rid of the pupil name. So now I'm reduced to 1 row. And that's not that useful, but what is quite useful is that I can go up here and I can start to use some of these grouping tools. So I could group it by key group. And there it is. It's grouped by key group. Just to show I can apply it to other year groups as well, I can choose a different year group. So now I've built the table, I can start to apply it in different ways. So that is for my current year 6. Now, actually, let's get rid of that and choose multiple selections and choose the whole school, and that will now generate a report for all the children in the school. Now I've got one row and it's 324 pupils, but I've grouped before by key group, so instead let's group by year group, and then it will break it down by all my cohorts. So I've now got average data for my different year groups, so I can compare them. I could even add in, if I wanted to, another one as well, and I can group by two different groupings. So I've got year group and then by gender. If I wanted to, I could even change the order of some of these columns if that's what I wanted to do. So let's just select that. And that's pretty much it, really. I can build a table showing any information I want, get all my columns in place, I can reorder them, I can group them in any way I want, and once it's built I never have to do it again. I can download it, I can put it into Excel, and I can pop that into a report, no problem. So it's a really useful, really powerful tool, really efficient, saves loads of time and hassle, never having to transfer all that data into my Word table every term again. So I hope that's useful, and I will come back and do another video another time. All right, thanks very much, bye.